This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
An elderly female cyclist has died after colliding with a car on the Bass Highway near Ulverston late this afternoon. Police say initial investigations indicate the cyclist, who was in her 70s, failed to give way when entering the highway near Forth River Bridge. Officers are still on the scene and westbound traffic is being diverted along Leith Road. Motorists are advised to expect delays and a report is being prepared for the coroner. Bickering has erupted between the state government and opposition, with blows traded over pre-election advertising. The Liberals have criticised Labor for using an interstate production company, but the state opposition says it's outrageously hypocritical.
The opposition leader launched Labor's new television advertisement earlier this year, setting the groundwork for the upcoming state election.
I understand the value of hard work, and I'll work hard to stand up for Tasmania.
But it's been targeted by the state government criticising an outsourcing of production.
And where they have said that they want to put Tasmanian jobs on the political agenda, they have failed at the first hurdle.
Melbourne-based Moss Group behind the success of the Western Australian Labor Party's recent win earlier this year, also credited in helping Tasmanian Labor MPs strip the Liberals' dubbed Three Amigos at the federal election.
They did work with Tasmanian candidates here in Tasmania and we won the 3 seats here in Tasmania, so they have a lot of knowledge and experience in Tasmania.
The group that's brought you Mediscare and Bill Shorten's White Australia farcical video is now running Rebecca White's and Labor's campaign.
The State Secretary says the Health Minister is clutching at straws to hide a failing health system.
It's highly hypocritical of the Liberal Party, who have engaged in interstate companies for their election campaigns in the past, companies such as Barton and Deakin that they used at the last state election.
This is an absolute storm in a teacup. I think people have got very little interest in this particular issue.
The Greens say with the election looming, the government has fallen silent on the expressions of interest process for state parks, claiming Tasmanians have been shut out.
Our concern is that the EOI process has now been co-opted for political reasons and that the Minister might be holding back announcements for his war chest.
Round 2 of the EOI process is ongoing, just one project progressing to negotiations. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
Anti-whaling crusader Sea Shepherd will end its campaign to stop illegal Japanese whaling operations, saying it's unable to match the country's military force. Pressure is now being placed on the Prime Minister to hold the Japanese government to account or risk the lives of thousands of Australian whales.
After 12 years venturing into the wild Southern Ocean to protect these majestic creatures from Japanese slaughter, activist group Sea Shepherd says it's been forced to withdraw.
Japan has real-time information on us. They know exactly where we are. You know, we do not have the resources and the funding that the Japanese whaling fleet does, which is heavily funded and backed by the government of Japan.
Both the International Court of Justice and the Australian Federal Court have determined whaling in the area to be illegal. An injunction has been issued, but the practice continues under the guise of scientific research.
The Prime Minister and his government need to get a spine to protect these Australian whales in our backyard from this illegal slaughter.
Former Greens leader Bob Brown is calling on the federal government to show its strength and to send in Australian naval forces to protect the area.
We have laws making this whaling illegal. The courts have found that, but Malcolm Turnbull is holding back the police force.
It's up to the Australian government to step up to their pre-election promises and send a vessel. And are they representing the wishes of the Australian public, or are they on their knees to Tokyo?
In a statement, the federal government says no country has done more than Australia to try and end Japanese scientific whaling, particularly in the Southern Ocean, and that it doesn't condone any unlawful action at sea.
Will he uphold our Australian laws, or won't he? And if he doesn't, then the blood of these whales is on his hand.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
The Hobart City Council will soon vote on a maximum height limit for the city that rules out the opportunity for discretion. The move could see an unwavering height limit of 45 metres for the CBD and 18 metres for the Sullivan's Cove area. Alderman Helen Burnett today raising concerns any higher developments could impact on the tourist dollar.
We have more than 50% of the heritage of Australia right at our doorstep. So we should be making the most of that. We should be protecting that.
Members will make their final decision next week. The preliminary vote had 3 in favour and 1 against the move. A renowned Hobart jewellery store has been the target of a brazen burglary. Thieves smashed through the Salamanca shopfront in the early hours of this morning. Police estimate more than $15,000 worth of jewellery was stolen. Award-winning jeweller Phil Mason says he will no longer be showcasing his work after hours.
Time has to be invested to remake all those things because none of it's mass produced. It's all individually made from scratch. There's no shortcuts. You know, you just have to spend the time, invest the time in making more pieces.
Those who may have seen suspicious behaviour in the area are urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Tasmanian students are being encouraged to consider a career in engineering as many in the industry look to retire. As a way to inspire the next generation, students today battled it out with help from experts at the inaugural Engineering Young Minds Challenge.
From stringy pasta to sturdy bridges, these students had only 40 minutes to use spaghetti, sticky tape, blue tack and a ball of string to create their engineering designs.
So we're building a bridge that we have to support some weight. We have to make it as strong as possible.
The 12 groups using different tactics.
We've got these little design pieces here with string in the middle.
We're using an arch.
They'll get points for creativity and innovation, but ultimately it's going to be how much weight they can hold.
Put on by the Launceston City Council, it's the first time the Engineering Young Minds Challenge has been held. It's now hoped it can be run annually, giving students a chance to collaborate with experts and open their minds to potential careers.
Nearly half our engineering workforce is going to retire in the next 7 years, and there's not enough students coming out of university, and it's a national problem, not just ours, but it's certainly an issue going forward.
If young people can get interested in engineering, it'll help them out in the future, and obviously Tasmania needs lots of engineers to help us with infrastructure.
Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
A Tasmanian pistol shooter is proving to be among the best in the world after claiming multiple silver medals at the Sports World Championship. The steady hand is planning to go one step better next time round.
Back home at the Van Diemen's Pistol Club, Chris Banfield is reaching the top of his game. The 31-year-old has been on the local shooting scene since he was 12. But he recently nailed a big global target, winning 3 silver medals at the World Championship in Germany on his first appearance in national colours.
When I get a bit nervous, the trick is not to think about what's happening, so I actually have a little trick where I start singing songs in my head, just anything to try and distract the nerves a bit. So it seems to work.
Banfield claimed runner-up for the pistol and revolver divisions, plus the team silver alongside fellow clubman and rising star Matt Lockhart.
And just through conversations, he was the national champion at the time and was unbelievably impressed by that. I'm definitely keen to get back up there again and shoot with some of the best in the world.
To go one step better, the pair is working together, keeping a critical eye on technique. Banfield believes he can build on Germany's silver with a home ground advantage when the World Championships are hosted down under in 2019.
The range over there was really hard to shoot on, so it'll be a lot easier back on home ground. The light over there actually changes the point of impact on the targets.
Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
City Mission is once again able to use its Moreton Place facility following a desperately needed renovation. The site now has a new roof, a painted interior and an upgraded kitchen. The project was funded by the Bruce Wall Estate and the state government. City Mission says it also plans to upgrade the furniture, lighting and widen the entrance of Moreton Place to allow for disabled access. But funding for that stage is yet to be secured. Work is still progressing to bring Launceston's Star Theatre back to life. Purchased by 3 Tasmanian men, demolition work started earlier in the year, and this week the redevelopment has officially begun. The developer's vision is to return the Star to its former glory. They also plan to include a bar and cafe. The original Star Theatre operated from 1937 to 1969 before being sold and used as a retail outlet.
There have been explosive claims ahead of the TSL final series that several players from Lauderdale and Clarence have been involved in a recent off-field altercation. For more, we now cross live to sports reporter Tom Cooper. And Tom, what can you tell us?
Well, Tom, what a revelation ahead of what's shaping up as one of the most heated TSL finals in recent times. Now, I have it from a very reliable source from within one of the 2 clubs that several big-name players from Clarence and Lauderdale were recently involved in a late-night physical altercation at one of the bars down here in Hobart. It's understood to have started with an exchange of words between Clarence's Matthew Ling and Lauderdale captain Bryce Walsh. Now, according to the source, Tom, Ling headbutted Walsh, which led to what's probably best described as a bit of an all-in brawl, after which the players were allegedly kicked out of the pub. Now, we know Clarence coach Jeremy Webberley recently accused Lauderdale of breaking a pact between the 9 TSL clubs when they referred Jack Gleeson to the match review panel for making high contact with Lauderdale's Jordan Roberts, which almost led to Gleeson being deregistered from the competition. So, Tom, as if the 2 clubs needed another reason to hate each other, this recent turn of events will surely add more fuel to the fire ahead of Saturday's qualifying final right here at Blunston Arena. Back to you.
I'll tell you what, that will be an intense match. Thank you very much, Tom Cooper there, reporting for us live. Well, he's one of the most respected coaches in Tasmanian football and is now preparing to lead his club into September for the first time in years. We recently caught up with Launceston coach Sam Lonnegan to talk about the ups and downs from his past few years in the game.
From being kept from coaching in 2016 after the Essendon supplement scandal came to a head, to leading the Blues to their first final series since 2013.
It's certainly been a rollercoaster for nearly 4 years. Obviously, we had a fair bit going on personally away from footy or away from footy in Tasmania. So it's fantastic to be where we are right now.
Under the first year of his program, the Blues have been a force to be reckoned with. Regarded as one of the best footy brains in the state, Lonnegan's philosophical approach this season has resonated strongly with the playing group.
And his belief is to not fear the outcome, to not fear whether we win or lose, and whatever the result is, we just accept it and we try and actually tick off on the boxes that we try and set internally.
Whether it be positive or negative, everyone's going through something different. So we've got to accommodate that as a football club and a community football club and make sure we support our players with a really open and positive environment.
With 81 AFL games for Essendon and Richmond under his belt, Lonnegan's on-field leadership has been a key ingredient in the road to September.
He led the contested balls in the AFL at one stage of his career, so he can definitely find the ball.
But with his passion now lying more with coaching than playing, Lonnegan has at times taken a step back on the field to let others shine.
For me, even when I am playing, I'm out there developing other players around me and making sure they're getting their exposure to midfield time. I spend a bit more time forward, so guys like Brodie Powerfman can really excel in his footy.
Preparing to take on Glenorchy this weekend in a do-or-die finals clash, belief is high among the Blues. But true to form, Lonnegan says what will be come September.
We won't change a thing. At this stage now, we just let him go. I just let him loose. There's nothing holding him back. I want him to enjoy the experience.
Tom Cooper, Southern Cross News.
Glenorchy superstar Jay Bowden says back-to-back premierships will far outweigh any individual honours as he accepted the award for the RACT Insurance Player of the Year today after winning by 3 votes ahead of North Launceston's Tom Couch.
There was a few North Lonnie boys that were sort of pretty close in the end. Probably lucky they took votes off each other in the end because they've obviously had some pretty good years themselves.
It's Bowden's second Player of the Year award in a row and his third in the past 4 years. A fighting finish has earned Tasmanian triathlete Joe Gambles a bronze medal at the Sports World Championships in Canada. The result puts Gambles in good stead ahead of the sport's most iconic event later this year. The world's best triathletes hit the chilly Canadian water, battling for the long-distance triathlon crown. Tassie's great hope Joe Gamble slipped back in the pack in the first phase, exiting the swim 3.5 minutes behind the front runner. Gamble started hitting his straps on the gruelling 120-kilometre ride, closing the gap on fellow countryman Josh Amberger in the lead. Amberger had the measure of Gamble's. The Aussie finished second behind Canadian crowd favourite Lionel Sanders. But after being locked in a contest with American veteran Andy Potts, the 35-year-old Tasmanian made it home for bronze.
The last 3 kilometres, it was crazy. Andy was chasing me down for fourth, and as I caught third, Sudan Sudri, we all came together with 3 kilometres to go, and I had one card, and it was just to go then and see if I could get a gap, and it worked.
Gamble's posted to Instagram after the race, declaring he's ready for the Ironman World Championship in Hawaii in 7 weeks' time. And the SB20 World Championship is underway in the UK. 84 boats have been split into 2 fleets, with Export Ruse, skippered by Hobart's Michael Cooper, finishing first in the yellow fleet, while fellow Tasmanian Nick Rogers skippered black to second in the blue fleet.
Good evening. Hobart 14 today. Launceston and Burnie recorded 13 degrees, while our top 16 at St Helens. And apart from a shower over the west and south, a fine mostly sunny day. Campania and Friendly Beaches 15, Grove and Bushy Park 14, Low Head, Wynyard and the Bass Strait Islands all 13 today, and Strawn 12. There is low-level cloud that's over our region, along with points to the north. A cloud band with a cold front is heading our way from the south with a very cold pool of air following it, and spiralling cloud has thunder and rain over southern WA and just a little over western New South Wales creeping in. Patchy cloud on the close-up moved in from the west and pushed over most of the state this afternoon, a little wispy cloud over the east. Tomorrow that front moves to our northeast as a large high pressure system moves to our northeast as well. Inland troughs run through central Queensland and Western Australia. South to southwesterly winds at 20 to 30 knots decreasing during the day, lighter winds inland, swells up to 3.5 metres in southern waters. Strong wind warning, that's current for all coastal waters, a warning to sheep graziers for a number of districts with a cold start to the day tomorrow. And for tomorrow, a shower or 2 easing from Hobart, 11 the top, just 10 for Geefston, 9 for Bothwell. For Launceston, an early shower clearing, 13 the top, an early shower for Devonport and 13, 12 the high for Cressy. For Burnie, a possible early shower, 13 the maximum, 12 for Strawn and 13 for Curry on King Island with showers clearing, and just a possible shower for St Helens, 13 degrees, 12 for Swansea, Orford at 11, so very cool temperatures tomorrow. On Thursday, very cold at first, then widespread frosts, but mostly fine. Another frosty start on Friday, light showers developing over the northwest around lunchtime, and light showers on Saturday, mainly over the west, extending statewide in the afternoon. Showery and 20 in Perth tomorrow, a light shower as well for Melbourne and Sydney, a frosty start in Canberra, and sunny north of Brisbane. Partly cloudy and 10 degrees in Hobart. Launceston right now clear and 9 degrees in Devonport. And Joe, we have just 6 minutes to get all our makeup off and rush outside and look to the northwest, which is that way. 57 degrees, which is just about halfway up the sky, to see the International Space Station hurtle across the Tasmanian skies. In about 5 or 6 minutes, it'll head out to the southeast and disappear. Because it's 400 k's above the Earth, it's still reflecting the sun from the other side of the world. So it should be very bright, and I'm heading out there now.
Good. Take your makeup off. You don't want to get beaten up in the car park. Thank you, Merv. I'll leave mine on. That's all from the news team for now. Thanks to your company. See you with updates. Bye-bye.